Wait. You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yeah.
And 30 minutes after you get off the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
Right there, we have Loose Cannon casually laying out a timeline that directly points the finger at Big U. Apparently, Big U unknowingly admitted to Nipsey's murder by calling Loose Cannon before it even happened. That entire conversation has now gone viral, and even more shocking details about Big U are starting to surface. Let's dive right in. First, we need to understand the complex legacy of Big U and his relationship with Nipsey Hussle. Before we can make sense of why people are pointing fingers, we have to know who we're dealing with. Eugene Big U. Henley Jr. grew up in South Central Los Angeles during the 80s, around the Arlington and Slauson neighborhoods, areas forever tied to the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips. While Big U has publicly claimed he never officially joined the Rollin 60s, instead saying he was affiliated through the Arlington gang, his connections to the notorious set are undeniable. During a sit-down interview with Vlad TV, Big U was honest about his street credentials.
You never joined?
I'm I'm one of them guys who just here.
Just around.
Put it like this, it ain't on you, sometimes it's in you.
The rise, rift, and rumors, Big U, Nipsey Hussle, and the streets. That raised them gang experts and insiders alike have long portrayed Big U, not just as a member, but a shot caller within the notorious Rollin 60s Crips, possibly even the top dog during the late 80s and early 90s. His reputation was forged with his fists and solidified through his natural leadership, quickly elevating him in the gang's hierarchy. But in 1991, Big U's trajectory took a sharp turn. He was taken down in a major drug bust and sentenced to 23 years behind bars. During his time in prison, something changed. By the time he was released in 2004, having served 13 years, Big U emerged with a new mission: to give back to the same streets that raised him. He founded Developing Options, Inc., a nonprofit aimed at gang intervention and youth development, signaling the beginning of his public transformation. From feared street general to respected community activist. But not everyone bought the glow-up. Federal authorities watched closely, suspicious of his reinvention. Amid this new chapter, Big U stepped heavy into the music industry, launching unique music. Around 2006 to 2007, he crossed paths with a young, hungry Crenshaw rapper named Ermias Asghedom. The world would come to know him as Nipsey Hussle. Their connection formed during Nipsey's early grind, pushing mixtapes like Bullets Ain't Got No Name. Big U saw something different in Nip, a rare charisma, a unique swag, and undeniable greatness that set him apart from other rising LA rappers. Nip signed to Big U's Unique Music 4 production, and Big U played a partial management role alongside Steve Lobel, who was brought in to soften Big U's street-heavy image. The setup allowed Nip to benefit from street credibility and industry connections, while presenting a cleaner face to the business world. Nip even stayed at Big U's house for a time, recording music in the basement. A bond was forming that went beyond business. But their connection wasn't just musical. Word on the street was that Nipsey's baby mama was Big U's niece, tying the two men together through family. That bond, however, would later play a major role in a dramatic fallout between them. The 2011 confrontation, loyalty, business, and blood. In 2011, cracks began to show in their relationship. According to street chatter and later referenced in legal documents, a heated altercation went down in a parking lot near the Marathon clothing store at Crenshaw and Slauson. The beef reportedly stemmed from two separate but intertwined issues: a personal conflict involving Nipsey's daughter and her mother, Big U's niece, and a dispute over studio equipment. Nipsey allegedly confronted someone at his baby mama's place, accusing them of putting his daughter in harm's way. Things reportedly got physical. Protective of his family, Big U confronted Nipsey at the store to address the situation. At the same time, tension was brewing over recording gear. Big U had lent Nip equipment, then moved it elsewhere and let others use it, which Nip didn't take kindly to. The confrontation escalated in an alley behind the store. Reports claim that Big U, standing 6'5" and imposing, got the better of Nipsey and possibly even his brother, Black Sam. As the beatdown unfolded, Black Sam allegedly retrieved a gun from the store and fired a warning shot to stop the fight. Police rolled up minutes later, arrested Sam for the weapon, and the incident was swept under the rug legally. But the streets were buzzing. Contrary to rumors, the beef wasn't about Nipsey firing Big U or over a diss track, although Nip would later drop bars aimed at him. The core issue? Street politics and family loyalty. What's crucial is what happened next. According to Big U, the two men squashed the beef that same night. In Hip Hop Uncovered, Big U recalled resolving things quickly, saying plainly, "It was never nothing." After that, he admitted he wanted to discipline Nip for the diss track, but Black Sam stepped in and shut that down. The tension was real, but not permanent, from fallout to friendship. Or so it seemed, despite the 2011 fallout. Big U and Nipsey reportedly maintained contact. Big U has emphasized in multiple interviews that they continued talking regularly, sometimes daily. He promoted Nip's work, including his Grammy-nominated Victory Lap, and insisted there was never any deep-rooted beef. But the streets never forget. March 31st, 2019, the day the movement paused. March 31st, 2019, the hip-hop world was rocked when Nipsey Hussle was gunned down outside his Marathon clothing store. The 33-year-old rapper, entrepreneur, and community leader had just been nominated for a Grammy and was deeply embedded in revitalizing his South LA neighborhood. According to court records and witness statements, Nipsey was outside the plaza he owned, talking with friends when 29-year-old Eric Holder Jr., aka Shitty Cuz, and also a member of the Rollin' 60s, approached. After a brief exchange, Holder left, only to return minutes later with firearms. He opened fire, striking Nipsey multiple times before fleeing. Emergency responders rushed Nipsey to the hospital, but he was pronounced dead soon after. Holder was arrested 2 days later in Bellflower and eventually charged with murder. At trial, the motive became clear. Nipsey had allegedly called Holder a snitch, a fatal insult in gang culture. The shooting was ruled a spontaneous act of retaliation, not a premeditated hit. Holder was convicted in July 2022 and sentenced in February 2023 to 60 years to life. Open and shut case, not to everyone. Conspiracies and the contract theory in the aftermath of Nipsey's death. Conspiracy theories bubbled to the surface. The most persistent, that Big U had orchestrated the hit. Why? Some pointed to their documented tension, the 2011 altercation. Others cited Big U's powerful status in LA street politics. But the theory that gained the most traction was rooted in a supposed 10-year contract Nipsey signed with Big U's label in 2008 or 2009. According to the theory, as the contract neared expiration around 2018 to 2019, Nipsey chose not to re-sign. This allegedly triggered a business fallout, with some speculating that Big U had Holder carry out the hit to prevent losing control or due to personal resentment. Social media ran wild. One viral post claimed, Big U signed Nipsey to a 10-year deal in 2009. They started beefing in 2018. Nipsey didn't re-sign. He was killed in 2019. Coincidence? A 2021 blog post took it further, questioning Big U's practices. You signed a kid off the street to a 10-year deal. That's predatory. Then claim you and Steve Lobel had a 50-50 management split? That's a conflict of interest. Big U has repeatedly denied these claims. In a 2021 Drink Champs interview, he stated, "We never stopped talking, all the way up to when he signed. With Atlantic, he called me and said, 'Unc, let's go.'" He also pointed to his public support of Victory Lab as proof their relationship remained intact. Still, the rumors didn't die. Point 24. Explosive allegations fanned the flames in 2024. The conspiracy caught a second wind following a viral no-jumper interview. Rapper Loose Cannon and music executive Whack 100 made explosive allegations. Specifically, Loose Cannon claimed Big U called him 30 minutes before Nipsey's murder, telling him Nip was dead, even though the news hadn't broken yet. To many, that timeline felt off. And just like that, the whispers turned into a roar. The verdict, still out. Whether conspiracy or coincidence, one thing is clear. The Relationship between Big U and Nipsey Hussle was deep, complicated, and layered in ways that only those closest to them may ever fully understand. And in the streets, sometimes the truth gets buried right alongside the legends.
And I'm on a phone, he FaceTimed me. So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, 6 I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone. And I was like, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that.
Did you tell him the call you just got? Or you didn't even mention it?
I didn't mention it. And that's what fucked me up.
Cannon continued with an even more alarming claim.
Because my cousin is Nipsey's baby mama. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, I could have probably stopped it, or it had it.
Stop what? Fuck you mean? That fuck you talking about?
No, because listen. So after I talked to Nipsey, and I was like, yeah, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that. I'll see you later, or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey.
And finally, the most damning part of Loose Cannon's account. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey. That explosive statement sent shockwaves through the internet. The implications were staggering, suggesting that Big U not only had prior knowledge of Nipsey Hussle's murder, but may have been pulling strings behind the scenes. The No Jumper interview quickly went viral, with that clip being shared across multiple platforms, reigniting conspiracy theories that had lingered since Nipsey's death. But as the allegations gained traction, so did the skepticism. Multiple sources began questioning Loose Cannon's credibility. Adding fuel to the controversy, Whack 100, who heavily promoted Cannon's claims on No Jumper, has a long and well-documented history of animosity with Big U, raising serious doubts about his motivations and potential bias in giving these claims a platform. Eventually, the No Jumper interview was wiped from the internet altogether. According to reports, this happened after Big U sent a cease and desist letter to both the platform and host Adam 22, demanding they stop circulating what he described as defamatory and baseless accusations. Interestingly, some reports indicate that federal authorities later paid a visit to Adam 22 to obtain a copy of that letter, suggesting the feds had launched their own probe into Big U, not necessarily tied directly to Nipsey's murder, but certainly related to the wider swirl of allegations. Then, in March 2025, the accusations resurfaced, this time with fresh momentum. Former death row artist Halisha Choice, known as SKG, echoed similar claims in a TMZ interview. She stated plainly, Big U definitely has something to do with Nipsey's murder, and urged investigators to take a deeper look. Her statements were rooted in a personal feud with Big U. She accused him of being an abusive, manipulative figure in the music industry, alleging he assaulted her while she was pregnant, and even did so in Nipsey's presence. SKG painted a picture of Big U as a man who extorted artists and used violence to control them. However, like Cannon's, her claims remain unsubstantiated. No concrete evidence has emerged, and critics argue her statements stem more from personal vendettas than verified facts. One of the most compelling rebuttals to these conspiracy theories came in a 2023 interview, where Big U himself addressed the allegations head-on, laying out a detailed critique and dismissing the narratives as sensationalized and baseless.
So he didn't leave like they make you think. He had words with Nip, left, changed his clothes, and came back. That's all untrue and unfactual. I didn't even know the facts of it till Street Gangs. Alonzo did it, and the brother had words with Nip, from my understanding, because my big homeboy, Cousin Kerry, was there. He's the one who got shot in the head.
Digu's detailed breakdown of the events surrounding Nipsey Hussle's murder aligns closely with the official narrative established during Eric Holder's trial. According to both Digu and courtroom testimony, Nipsey's death was the result of a personal conflict, not a calculated, orchestrated hit. Digu's timeline highlights a key detail. Eric Holder never left the scene to change clothes. Instead, he briefly went to a nearby restaurant before returning to shoot Nipsey, a sequence of events confirmed by surveillance footage and multiple eyewitnesses during the trial. But in March 2025, the narrative took a wild turn. Allegations against Eugene Big U Henley exploded when he was slapped with a sweeping 43-count federal indictment under the Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, better known as RICO. Prosecutors painted a damning picture. They claimed Big U had been running a criminal empire, dubbed the Big U Enterprise, since 2010. According to the indictment, this enterprise operated like a mafia, using Big U's status and deep ties to the Rollin' 60s Crips to intimidate individuals and businesses across Los Angeles. The charges were staggering. Among them, the 2021 murder of aspiring rapper Rayon Williams, allegedly over a diss track. Prosecutors claim Big U and co-defendant Sylvester V. Robinson executed Williams in North Las Vegas, then dumped his body in a desert ditch off Interstate 15. Other allegations included the armed robbery of an unlicensed cannabis dispensary in LA that had reportedly stopped paying protection money, a job in which rapper T-Main Loose Cannon Williams was allegedly involved. And that was just the beginning. The indictment also accused Big U of fraud, embezzlement, illegal gambling, human trafficking, wire fraud, tax evasion, and even pimping. Prosecutors say he siphoned charitable donations from celebrities like Draymond Green and Shaquille O'Neal, funds meant for his non-profit, Developing Options. The picture painted was of a sprawling criminal network, carefully masked behind community outreach and legitimate business fronts. But perhaps the most revealing detail of the indictment is what it doesn't say. Despite the exhaustive federal investigation, one that reportedly included over 20,000 intercepted phone calls, plus damning audio and video surveillance, there was no mention of Nipsey Hussle's murder. Not one charge, not one reference tying Big U to the 2019 shooting that shocked the world. This silence speaks volumes. Around the time of Big U's indictment, Loose Cannon's past claims resurfaced online, sparking renewed conspiracy theories. Reports even emerged that federal agents visited Adam 22 to obtain a cease and desist letter Big U had previously sent to No Jumper in an effort to shut down Cannon's allegations. That visit only added fuel to the fire. But sources suggest the Fed's interest in No Jumper likely tied into the broader RICO case, possibly investigating Big U's alleged intimidation tactics or his connection to Cannon, who was also named in the indictment as a close associate and enforcer. Still, federal authorities have not uncovered any actionable evidence linking Big U to Nipsey Hussle's murder. The RICO case, as it stands, focuses entirely on other criminal activity. In a 2023 interview, Big U finally addressed the rumors head-on. Visibly frustrated, he denied any involvement in Nipsey's death, calling the accusations baseless and harmful. And for now, at least in the eyes of the law, that chapter remains closed.
No matter what, when I walk through the door, I'm a bad guy. For sure.
But why they put that on you though?
They tell me because he's black. I'm black. I'm black. I'm big. I mean, it's kind of racist when you look at it because the big black guys do what you gotta watch. I'm the only one that's gonna help you. Like I pull all the way up here by myself, right? I'm like, but then I mean, if I'm by myself, like I mostly be, I swear to God, I'd have been placed by myself and I'd be talking to somebody and the room would be like, Big U was doing like 30 dudes.
In a 2020 interview with Essence, Big U spoke with deep respect about Nipsey Hussle, calling him a brother and a warrior for Crenshaw. He praised Nipsey's dedication to community upliftment and admired how, even after achieving fame, Nipsey remained grounded and accessible to the streets of South LA. This image of mutual respect echoed Nipsey's own public acknowledgments of Big U's influence, shouting out figures like Big Draws in his music. So, amid swirling allegations and heated denials, what's the real story? An objective lens brings us back to the facts. Specifically, the evidence, or lack thereof, linking Big U to Nipsey's tragic murder. The timeline and key details, confirmed through surveillance footage and eyewitness testimony, point to a crime of passion, not a premeditated hit. Eric Holder Jr. was quickly identified and apprehended. The narrative that the killing was orchestrated by Big U simply doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Then there's the question of motive. Conspiracy theories often lean on a rumored contract dispute or lingering tensions from a 2011 altercation. But what these theories fail to acknowledge is the documented reconciliation between Nipsey and Big U. In fact, their relationship had reportedly been repaired and professionally active. Big U had even been promoting Victory Lap, Nipsey's Grammy-nominated album, in the time leading up to his death. As Big U reflected during a candid 2023 interview, the bond between them wasn't one of rivals, but of two men who had found common ground, despite their complicated past.
But like you said, when people who don't like you can use that against you. And I told my homies, I said, look, pay attention, bro. And I go to people, and I'm like, it's a whole side of LA that don't like us. They supposed to diss me. We one fraction that everybody don't like.
For real.
And then somebody asked me, well, why do people do that? Because they don't like me. They supposed to do it. If it was somebody that was grinding that I didn't like, I'm gonna make a fake page and say, yeah, I think what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna make no fake page though, I just said it.
I mean, but that's nowadays would do.
Yeah,
That's how they'll get you. They'll sit there and have usually 2 followers on it.
Look though, he used to be a lot knows best though, because he took me through that to get me to where I am.
He also spoke some real truth about how these false narratives are taking a toll on Nipsey's family.
But that goes to show you that no matter what you do in life, somebody always gotta have a bag. But all of that is shot in the ass when the man said on the stand, or the man said through his lawyer why he did what he did.
Did you know him?
Not at all. And you gotta understand, the 60s is a very big unit. Like I said, 4,000 or 5,000 dudes coming and going. He wasn't in my age bracket, and I wasn't in entertainment and music. That was, in fact, they kid. You know, you got your team. You know Jay, but your boys ain't gonna know Jay. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it may be your top dudes who you every single day who know Jay, but your boys not gonna know Jay.
Right.
Because you got your own team. Nip had his own team. Dude was a part of Nip team.
Big U has explained that the Rollin' 60s is an extensive organization with thousands of members spread across different neighborhoods. Given its sheer size, it's entirely plausible that he never personally knew Eric Holder. This aligns with what we understand about large, urban street gangs, where not every member is directly connected. More importantly, Big U emphasizes that the continued spread of conspiracy theories not only distorts the truth, but also disrespects Nipsey Hussle's family and tarnishes the legacy he worked so hard to build.
You understand what I'm saying? So it wouldn't have been nobody for me to know. We wouldn't have never had a setting where we'd have been talking, we'd have been, you know what I mean? And believe me, like I say, this case was investigated by the highest level of the branch. That man got a letter from the president.
Well, I know for a fact if they could get you, they'd get you.
And they
If they thought for a second that you had something to do with it and they could prove it, you out of here.
They wouldn't even.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you do the family a disjustice. And you got a lot of people that do the family a disjustice when you keep this bull crap alive, you know, and not focus on what really happened.
This might be the most powerful point in the entire debate. Nipsey Hussle's murder wasn't just any case. It was investigated at the highest level, with elite resources deployed to uncover everyone involved in the loss of a respected community icon. If there had been even a shred of credible evidence tying Big U to Nipsey's killing, it's almost certain he would have been charged. Remember, this case drew national attention. Even the president issued a letter of condolence. That level of visibility meant every angle was examined under a microscope. The fact that Big U hasn't been charged in connection to Nipsey's death, despite facing serious charges in other unrelated matters, speaks volumes. It strongly suggests that the conspiracy theories floating around just don't hold up when confronted with actual evidence. As legal proceedings against Big U move forward under the RICO Act, it's critical to separate fact from fiction. Emotion and speculation may stir up interest, but only the truth can bring clarity to these deeply complex events.